parts haul. How you doing, guys? Today we're gonna go over the parts haul from the Wheel Horse Show. I'm, like sometimes when you buy stuff, you kind of have second thoughts. Why the heck did I do that? I can honestly say I don't have that feeling a few days after the show. I'm really happy with my purchases. I can't wait to use them on future projects coming up on the channel. Right off the gate, or right out of the gate, I should say, let's talk about the Clinton parts that I got. These are all for a B1290/498 Clinton. I have a complete standard piston assembly and a complete 20 over piston assembly. Rings, wrist pins, clips, and pistons are both in there. All NOS. These are starting to get harder and harder to find, especially the standard ones. The oversized ones are they're all Clinton parts for these engines are starting to get a little harder to find. Their availability out there is not quite what they used to be. The valves are all oversized valves, and what I mean by oversized valves is the stems right here. You can see like this, there's like a shoulder and a step down. The step down is the standard size of a valve. The step up here, the added thickness, is what's considered oversized because you remount the guide and the block for the larger valve stem when you have some wear. The guides are not replaceable in a 498 or a 1290. So I got 3 exhaust valves and 3 intake valves, all oversized stems. The nice thing about the exhaust valves is you can run them in the intake guide. You can remount the guide and put it, or the intake, you can put the exhaust valve in where an intake valve would be. You cannot take the intake valve and put it where the exhaust valve is, obviously based on the amount of heat that's generated or the amount of heat that the exhaust valve has to handle. So didn't pay a whole lot of money for all this stuff, but it's good stuff for me to have in stock. For example, if you're going to put a 20 over piston in the motor, you got to take it to the machine shop anyways. You might as well have them remount the valve guides for the oversized valves. So I got a lot of that stuff in stock and ready to go. The Briggs and Stratton parts. Okay, so the reason why I bought all these Briggs and Stratton parts is because the guy that was selling them was pretty much giving them away. Okay, all of this stuff that you see here, I paid no less than $20 and no more than $20. So you do the math on what I paid for these. The beautiful thing is they all are for a rug carpet cut style engine. The 4 horsepower, 5 horsepower, aluminum block, vertical shaft motor. And I do plan on doing another one of those motors in the near future. So these parts here, I had to buy them at that price. We got basically starter clutches, 2 of them, brand new NOS. I did put an NOS on my rug at the time, but I got 2 more now. Beautiful. I'll get back to this real quick. 2 standard intake valves for one of those aluminum block L-head vertical shaft engines. I got, 7 exhaust valves for one of those engines. I mean, come on. For the price I paid, I took them all. Carburetors. I got 8 carburetors, NOS, for that style engine. Now, 2 of them, these 2 right here, somebody snaked the diaphragms and the springs out of them, which is not really that big of a deal when you think about it, because based on the age, those diaphragms are probably harder than hell anyway, so they're going to need to be replaced. But brand new NOS, all set up, ready to go. I mean, again, no more than 20, no less than 20 for everything. So I took all the carburetors. One of the other things that I was looking for when I was doing the rug was possibly a new base plate, because the rug one has a little bit of wear in the aluminum babbitt, the bearing area, or I guess the bushing area, if you want to call it. brand new NOS in the box. If I had only known, right? I came with the gaskets. The gaskets are a little hard and crusty. They're over here on the floor. I'll show it to you in a minute. But it's got a brand new seal already installed. So really, I cannot complain about that. So a lot of good Briggs and Stratton parts for an engine project that's coming up on the channel. You know, some of them I'm going to use, some of them I'm not going to use. Oh, I forgot to say, what is this? This is the actual throttle assembly that bolts to the side of the carburetor that the throttle cable hooks up to and has the integrated kill switch right there. So, I mean, I have another NOS gas tank downstairs for one of these engines. So I have an NOS gas tank, NOS carburetor, NOS throttle hookup. I got the valves. I don't have a piston or a rod, but they're really available fairly cheap all around, so I can get that. I got an NOS bearing plate, so I'm trying to collect enough parts to build an NOS engine. Let's put it that way. But big thanks to the seller who sold me all these parts for basically nothing. The other thing I bought this bearing, the flat bearing with the erase. I'm going to incorporate this in the rebuild of my senior's steering column. The top portion, we'll get into it in another video, but I bought that for that, and I think I paid $5 for this, which good enough. Then there's this guy right over here. It is a Clinton 498. Which is also the same as a B1290. You've seen a ton of those engines on my channel. I have 4 or 5 of them still in my shed, but I bought this one. A friend of mine, and we'll talk about it in a second, sold it to me. And what makes this particular 498 or B1290, whichever one you want to call it, special is this is a factory electric start model. I did buy this engine from Charlie. In all his years of hunting Clinton engines, he has only found 5 of these motors, and he was kind enough to sell me one of them. So I'll go through all the specifics, which makes this engine even more special, if there's a worse way of saying it, in a future video. But as of right now, this is a 498 Clinton factory electric start with factory stator in it. The plan for this motor is to do a complete rebuild, basically using as many of the NOS parts that I have in stock to bring this thing completely back to life. And I might put this engine on my RJ35 just because RJ35 is cool and this engine is super cool. Big thank you to Big thank you out to Charlie for selling me that motor. Okay, one other thing that we have here is this guy, which is in this box. My God, I can't speak tonight. Box. What is it? It is a Kohler engine display stand. It's made out of plastic, so it's just for display, not for starting up engines or anything crazy like that. Never put together. Everything is here. There's those crazy gaskets for the base plate for the Briggs and Stratton, and it's actually marked Kohler engines. So I'm looking forward to putting that together at some point. I'm not going to make a video or anything stupid like that, but you will see it in a video soon enough showing off an engine. My 59 is back at the house. I didn't ride it at the show. It was just pouring. I wasn't going to get this thing all dirty and muddy. This is the nicest RJ that I have ever owned, and I wasn't going to put that through it. It sits right here. Soon to be put back in the shed. All right, guys. Thank you very much for watching. That was the parts haul from the Wheel Horse Show. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully it might spark a little interest where you might want to come back and see what we do with these parts. So if you could please like, share, and subscribe. And when it comes to subscriptions, I'm almost at 5,000 subscribers. I can't believe that you have been so kind to subscribe to my channel. The 4,000, what is it, 4,894 of you, I think it was last I checked. So I'm really hoping and shooting to get to 5,000 subscribers in the near future. I'm hoping you would help me to do that. So please like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment below. And until the next project, which will be back on the Senior this Friday, you have an awesome day.